There are few modern hardcore bands with a cult-like following quite like Knocked Loose. The band has released instant, timeless classic records, became a meme, played massive pop festivals like Coachella and Lollapalooza, became a gateway band for goth girls to get into heavy music, and helped influence a wave of modern hardcore that is changing heavy music, all in the span of just a few short years. But the band has been grinding for a decade now and have paid their dues, all while paving the way for DIY hardcore around the world. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the No Skip Show. I'm your host, Travis Platt, and today is our second episode of our series, A Beginner's Guide. Today we are talking all about the hardcore legends, Knocked Loose. Make sure to check out the playlist in the description below to check out all of the episodes of A Beginner's Guide, as well as liking this video, commenting below your favorite Knocked Loose song, and make sure to subscribe and smack that notification bell to keep the record spinning. We've been getting a ton of comments and feedback from our episodes that we've already put out, and I want to thank you all for that, and it has been really awesome to see, and we are not planning on stopping anytime soon. So, if there's a band that you want us to do a beginner's guide to, make sure to comment that below. Also, we've been super active on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok lately, so please check us out there and give us a follow. We've been posting a lot of bonus content there, while also doing videos every single Monday and Thursday on the No Skip Show for long-form content, as well as shorts every single day. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this video. We have a lot to talk about. You may not expect it, but Louisville, Kentucky is home to hardcore bands who have had a well-known, long-lasting legacy. From Breather Resist to Endpoint to Slint, but arguably the most important band is the most recent breakthrough in their hardcore and punk scene, Knocked Loose. The band formed in 2013, but some members of the band have played together in other projects around 2011 and 2012. However, the early stages of Knocked Loose have proved that they came from very humble beginnings, playing shows at VFWs, house shows, and any place that had a microphone. Although their hometown of Louisville seems like a hotbed for local hardcore bands, that wasn't necessarily the case, as the band would commonly be on bills with a variety of different styles of heavy music. From death metal to screamo to the young emerging hardcore scene that Knocked Loose were at the helm of. This crossover of styles that the band was subjected to helped them get a feel of experimentation, which we still feel in the band's sound to this day with their fusion of hardcore, metalcore, and beatdown influences. After grinding it out in the local scene, the band finally released their debut EP, Pop Culture, in 2014 on Little Heart Records, a smaller label known in their hometown. The EP was heavy, and it sported an array of lyrical themes from atheism to suppressing insecurities, really attributing to the hardcore revival happening at the time. Which featured bands like Trapped Under Ice, Varials, Full of Hell, Jesus Peace, and the Pittsburgh natives, Code Orange. I gotta represent my home city. Just like these bands, Knocked Loose never rested. They were consistently playing shows, as well as working on the release of a split EP with Damaged Goods, which appeared in the spring of 2015, gathering large acclaim from fans and their local scene. However, the band is yet to have a breakthrough single or release. That is, until 2016. In the spring of 2016, Knocked Loose were given the opportunity to tour with the Ontario melodic hardcore band Counterparts, who were also a major player in the hardcore revival at the time. From there, the band continued to get tour opportunity after opportunity, becoming very well known for their rowdy and aggressive crowds. Through this reputation, they managed to tour with bands such as the Acacia Strain, Stick to Your Guns, Straight from the Path, and Oceano. To further this momentum, they signed to Pure Noise Records, home of some of the most well-known bands in the metal, punk, and alternative scenes. And they released their debut full-length album, Laugh Tracks, on September 16th. This killer featured the singles Oblivion's Peak, Dead Ringer, Billy No Mates, and last but not least, Counting Worms, which became the band's biggest song and features one of the greatest breakdown callouts of all time, creating an internet meme throughout the scene. It's a feeling I can't remember! This short but sweet track packed a punch for only being 1 minute and 11 seconds long. Their debut record manages to be a more polished but seemingly more aggressive album compared to their earlier EPs, and to me is better than anything they've released prior. The songs are very in-your-face with pounding drums, intense riffs, and the signature screams of Brian Garris, which seems to be an acquired taste to most, but I personally love his vocals. The album received massive acclaim from fans and critics alike, still arguably being their most well-known release. The success of this album paid off, giving way to tours with Every Time I Die and the entirety of the 2017 Vans Warped Tour, which had the band playing alongside Movements, Trophy Eyes, Boston Manor, Creeper, and much more on the Full Sail University stage, which in my opinion was one of the best stages that Warped Tour had that entire decade. Throughout 2018, the band toured relentlessly, opening for metal giants like Parkway Drive, Beartooth, and Thy Art Is Murder, as well as opening for A Day to Remember in 2019 and having a headliner in the same year featuring the Acacia Strain as support, one of the first bands to bring Knocked Loose on tour. With all this touring, you'd think that they wouldn't have time for another album, right? Well, you're wrong. August 23rd, 2019, the band released their second studio album, A Different Shade of Blue, their most ferocious release yet. Listening to the lead single Mistakes Like Fractures breakdown is just plain brutality. God, silence when I cry out! Cementing the ferocity and aggression that spans the entirety of the record's 38-minute lifespan, containing memorable callouts and insanely heavy riffs. This is also the album where I learned that whenever guitarist Isaac Hale has any kind of vocals, shit's about to go down. However, the album does tend to stray away from the hardcore roots that the band has revolutionized in their upbringing, incorporating different styles of metal including hardcore punk, metalcore, sludgecore, and even some elements of death and groove metal, fully integrating the melting pot of sounds and styles that they were exposed to from all of the bands they grew up with in Louisville, finally rounding out their sound. Fans and critics absolutely loved this album as well, it even being included in the best albums of 2019 list for Alternative Press, Loudwire, Revolver, and What Culture. After the release of the album, the band continued to tour heavily, including headliner tours, as well as opening for the heavy metal legends Gojira. Unfortunately, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the band was forced to take a break from live shows. At the time, they didn't know what to do, other than write and produce music. And with that, the band birthed another EP, A Tear in the Fabric of Life, in October of 2021 by complete surprise, even being accompanied by a short film. The EP, being a concept record, tells the story of someone wading through the stages of extreme grief. This release digs further into a more metal style, but without sacrificing the aggressive, dissonant, and brutal sound that we know and love Knocked Loose for. God Knows, being my personal favorite track, has an amazing and signature Knocked Loose call-out with incredibly punchy riffs. But with live shows back in business, the band has continued to expand their touring resume, touring with a wide variety of bands and artists, including Bring Me the Horizon, Suicide Boys, Motionless in White, Ski Mask the Slump God, Deftones, Grandson, Movements, and Kublai Khan TX. Well on their way to becoming more well-known since the restart of live shows, they've also appeared at major festivals including Coachella, Bonnaroo, and Lollapalooza, opening the mainstream audience to hardcore music and welcoming so many new fans to the scene, being a flag bearer for the genre alongside bands like Turnstile and Scowl. Even with all of these major accomplishments, the band has no sign of slowing down one bit. In 2022, Brian Garris was featured on the Motionless in White song Slaughterhouse, off their album Scoring the End of the World, which went viral and even gave way to a TikTok dance.
One mutilation under God!
Motionless continued to keep the song alive during their live shows, bringing many faces on stage to perform Garris's part, including Fit for a King's Ryan Kirby, TikTok personality and Deadlands vocalist Casey Carlson, and even Cage Archer, a child vocalist known for his metalcore covers.
One mutilation under God! One mutilation!
In 2023, Knocked Loose released 2 singles by surprise, Deep in the Willow, which features arguably their greatest call-out to date,
Not loose, motherfucker!
while also being their heaviest song, and Everything is Quiet Now, both welcoming a new era to the band. The band's success is determined by 2 major things: their incredible work ethic and consistency, and brutally memorable songs. People who don't listen to hardcore still know the song Counting Worms, or they at least know the name Knocked Loose from seeing their name on a tour poster. From very humble beginnings in Louisville, Kentucky, they have really cemented themselves as the hardcore band of the modern era, and an amazing representation of the genre. Comment below your favorite Knocked Loose songs, as well as any further bands you want me to do a beginner's guide to. As always, thanks for watching, and happy listening.